I will say we're going to eat good here today, I think. I hope there's no snails in this, but we're not eating out of plastic dishes today, Jeff. You know what I'm
we get this is what we got the pot pie in.
Yeah.
Anytime we get some ceramic dishes.
Yeah, Allan, the food
fancy.
dude's hooking us up, man. So what are we about to
Smells
consume?
cream cheesy-ish, strawberry-ish.
Well, you got a little strawberry cream cheese on the top there. You just basically have what we like to call a jelly tart.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So, without any further ado, this is a wild berry, and it's going to be some blueberry and some strawberry and a little blackberry.
Buddy.
And
there's a little
I
bit
like
of...
berry-based desserts. I mean, I like chocolate like anybody else, but I'm a big strawberry guy. And I don't like... We may talk about it later as a poll. It says strawberry ice cream's America's favorite, but I'm not a big strawberry ice cream fan. But you talk about strawberry pie, shortcake, cakes.
Well, you got a little bit of everybody in there.
Yeah.
So.
This is good.
You got three layers of stuff here.
You do. You got a little strawberry jelly on the bottom. You got a nice little cakey layer with your blueberries and blackberries in the center.
Man.
You got a little strawberry cream cheese on top.
Yeah.
And, once again, very quick, very easy, very summer. You get, they're nice and chilled. And so, for that light little snack when you come in from the yard or doing something like that, there you go.
I'll tell you what, cream cheese goes good with just about anything.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot better for you than the frosting. It's more of a fat-based than a sugar-based deal.
And the other big thing is you can use it as a secret ingredient in so much stuff.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful, it's kind of a sneaky thickener.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, you're trying to, this is looking pretty good, but I need a little thicker. I need a little, you put a little cream cheese into it.
I'll tell you, man.
If you
I'm just taking little bites of this because I want to savor the moment, Allan.
Good,
I'm not shoveling it in, man. I want to be able to enjoy this.
Sit down and eat the whole cake. Good.
Brightwell's going, it looked like there was one more in the box.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, how many did you bring in?
Yeah, well, I didn't know how many people were going to be here today, so I brought in 3 of them. So.
I want to ask you a question because we have this story unrelated to this dessert. You know anything about this brand? I'm sure you've heard the story. It's talking about the snails that were smuggled in from Palermo.
Yep.
And they're out because of the organ. You know what kind they are? Is that just escargot snails? They're edible snails.
You like to eat snails, Allan?
I
just didn't know if you knew anything about them. If it was just escargot snails or... Because they're edible, is what it said.
They're just illegal in this country.
They're an edible snail, and, it's kind of like one of those things. If you're an oyster fan, you're an oyster fan. If you grew up eating snails, you grew up in Europe, you're kind of a fan because generally they're served sort of roasted with a little garlic.
What does a snail taste like? Fish? What?
Kind of a little bit more like an oyster. It's just that kind of spongy, and then it absorbs the
like butter and
flavors you
garlic.
put on it. Right. It's mostly... It's mostly a garlic conveyance device.
That's what I was telling him. I think if you saw a calamari, which is what octopus, squid, taken out of the ocean, you probably would not eat it. Did they fry it up and put some cocktail sauce on it? Let's go.
You cut him into strips so he doesn't look like he's going to attack you from the plate.
Right.
And, suddenly, you kind of bring in one of my favorite topics, and that is that, food does not necessarily come from the grocery store.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Huh?
So many people have never seen where or what their food is.
And they probably don't want to, right?
Well, these days a lot of people don't, which is, what cracks me up when you go to like one of these international markets and, if you like blue crab, well, guess what? He's looking back at you.
Yeah.
You have to convert him from critter to food. And if you're really into fresh, you're really into as good as it can get. It's
well, we're so used to being pampered with our food. We don't want to see where it comes from, but you go to some of these other countries and you see their live markets, and you're like, I'm not eating that.
Yeah, no,
it's moving around in that cage right now.
Yes, it is.
Where's the FDA?
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
you don't want to go if you're eating barbecue. If you want to go have some ribs, don't go to the hog farm. I mean, don't go see.
See how they've
there's old Charlotte. Let's go watch her in the slaughterhouse.
Don't meet old Bessie first. There was a book a while back called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which actually had a character in it, which was dinner. and you actually got to meet your dinner. So it was a big Douglas Adams send up. He had just been to California and all the food movements and what to eat, what not to eat. And this was kind of his send up of our ability to just go to the grocery store, and a pork chop is disembodied from a pig.
All right.
You like to pick on me because you catch me out here by the railway tracks and all that every so often.
Picking berries off weeds.
Yeah, you got a big old blackberry patch back here. And a lot of people don't know that blackberries will eat you alive.
What?
That is a thorny plant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like picking roses.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't kind of get the idea that, blackberries don't come in a bag at the grocery store.
That's true.
I didn't know they were on a thorny bush.
Your grandparents had to go out to the woods and, you took a basket with you and you went berry picking. Strawberries, they're beautiful, but they're more than an ornamental plant at the big box store. So welcome to where your food comes from.
They're highly washed. I had family in Arkansas. They had strawberries, and I didn't know until I went over there and had it. It's like, man, these are, what's this gritty taste? You're like, well, it's the sand. They grow in sandy soil.
They got a little dirt on
You really
them.
got to wash those things.
Now,
You be crunching your teeth, man. You have a fresh
I didn't
strawberry
realize
out there.
strawberries were crunchy.
Yeah.
now, the flip side of that ditch is you also have a lot of people bringing over exotics.
Yeah.
Because those are foodstuffs somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't get those snails in America like they got in Palermo.
But those snails are dangerous to our
You're not going to find
crops,
those.
We find out almost everything we bring in. I'll bring up our most famous import in the South.
Oranges.
How about kudzu?
Oh, kudzu. Oh, yeah.
That was actually a big World's Fair event back in the 1860s.
Whose idea was it to bring that nonsense? Thanks.
And there was it's a great ornamental plant, and now it's eating half of the place. If you've seen, I know you've seen the videos with the big head carp. The silver carp.
I thought you were talking about Billy Bass, the big mouth singing fish.
No, this is the guy that when you start your boat engine, the 40-pound fish comes firing up out of the water at 60 miles an hour. And, they're up in the Tennessee River. So, you be cutting along on your boat, and fishing becomes more than a spectator sport. Mm-hmm. It becomes a full contact sport. So you got to be careful what we sneak in. Yeah. Because you remember these back home when Grandpa had them, but the reason they were so plentiful there was they were eating everything in the fields. So
yeah, I remember traveling as a kid to like Mexico and other places, and you couldn't bring fruit in. That's like, why can't we take these oranges across the border?
Because
the bugs.
Well, basically because you don't know what was living in that fruit.
Yeah.
So the little larvae of certain types of fruit flies are so small you would never see them. But they're going to grow up as soon as, their lifespan's like 36 hours. So the magic time you picked it up at the market, and by the time you get it home, they're ready to hatch out.
They're ready to take over.
And
dig in.
Next thing you know, we have we got another invasive critter we got to worry about in our foodstuffs.
Well, but these snails won't end up. These are high end. They've
been destroyed.
They're not going to Fazoli's or Olive Garden.
No,
these are like for somebody. This is like Goodfellas. They're bringing in the Sicilian snails.
Somebody was behind the scenes on that, going.
I don't want the snail you got in the water out back. I want the real deal, man. Yeah. No, these snails, and they said in the article that the customs they destroyed them. So I don't know how do you destroy snails?
Oh, they took them home and ate them.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just going to say
an incinerator at the customs office.
Actually, they have a wide variety of ways of destroying things with the customs office. They can make whatever they need to disappear if they need it to.
What this is a layered dessert. It starts on the top with what appeared to be a strawberry flavored
cream cheese cake and jelly.
That's it.
That was it. That was it. Very simple.
And you can put it in ceramic, and you get friend. They'll go, man, you're a Michelin chef.
Yeah, thanks.
Look at this.
It beats just the old muffin.
That's it. Allan, the food dude, where do they find all your stuff?
All they got to do is pop over to the cookingtodayshow.com, and they can follow along with our, as we like to call them, culinary misadventures. And we got all kinds of new stuff coming up.
Awesome. All right, Allan, thanks for always keeping us well fed.
Yeah.
It's good stuff today.